morning, everyone. Right off the bat, I want you to know this is out of my comfort zone, but God did tell me, and He did speak to me and tell me that this needed to be done. I had it bottled up for too many years. So to start out with, my mother died when I was 4 years old, and I had a very abusive alcoholic father. I didn't remember my mother's voice. I didn't remember her touch. What I did remember is the abuse that my father did to me. I had a broken nose from him, broken collarbone, stitches by my eye, black eyes and bloody noses all the time, broken fingers from a 2x4. He was always beating on me. I was the human punching bag. It was really a trying time for me. He'd come home from work and I'd be under the bed crying and praying, hoping that I wouldn't get beat on again. But that never happened. So I went through some big pain. But what was even worse is the verbal abuse. The broken bones can be put away. They can be mended. But the verbal abuse stuck with me for years. Well, when I got 6th grade, my father raped my sister, and we got put in foster homes. Well, I thought, well, I'm in a foster home. At least now I'm not going to get beat on no more and verbally abused. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. I had foster brothers, and I was the youngest there. I not only got beat on there, but I also got forced to do drugs and forced to steal from them. At that time, I hated life. I hated people. I hated God, and I hated myself. I couldn't get over how bad I was, to the point where I even tried to commit suicide by overdosing. I was a failure because I couldn't even do that right. So it was rough growing up there, but then out of the clear blue, I met a girl across the street. And that girl did something to me that changed me. She taught me how to care, she taught me how to love. Actually, she was the first person that ever said I love you to me. Because I never heard that from my parents or anyone else. That was in 7th grade. Well, still the stealing and the drugs got the best of me. And I went to Boys 12 in town. But me and that girl still kept in contact. I had lost her, but we were still friends. Well, of course, after Toll Town, I still didn't learn. I went to a group home, and then dummy me went back to live with my dad. I had no other place to live. And there I was abused and verbally and physically abused again. Well, at that time, I kept praying to God that, hey, will you please get me this girl back? That's the only thing I've ever loved. And of course, the abuse got the best of me with my dad, and I ran away. I had to steal to survive. I lived in cars, in the bushes, wherever I could be. I even had a couple girlfriends that I lived with, but when I found out that the only woman I would ever marry is the one I met, they sort of tossed me aside. Well, I got caught stealing again. I got put in the psych ward. I got put in drug treatment. I got put in jail, and it was a back and forth thing. But I didn't give up on this girl. I called her. I was 19 years old, and I finally got back with this girl, the woman that I loved, the woman that I wanted to marry. And it was wonderful. My prayers were answered finally. My prayers were answered that I'd finally get the girl that I wanted, the girl I loved and wanted to marry. Well, of course my temper got the best of me, and I ended up getting in trouble again. This girl bailed me out of jail, and she said, "This is your last chance. This is your last chance. We're done after this." Well, then at that time, God spoke to me in a big voice that I heard loud and clear. He said, "Dale, what is wrong with you? You prayed for years to get this girl back. You prayed so hard to have her back in your life. You toss other girlfriends aside because you wanted to marry this girl. This is your chance. You got to do this. Well, that's when I really put God into my heart. And that's when I really straightened my act out. I ended up staying with this girl, getting my act together. And in 1984, we got married. Tracy. So, we were going along in life really good, and I was just so in love and so happy at the time. But we were missing a piece. We were missing the piece of a child. And of course, me, I wanted a son. I wanted a son because I wanted to bring him up the right way. I wanted to change the Meyers tradition from abuse, verbally and physically, to love, the way I wanted to be loved. And this one's touched me because I made a prayer. I got deeper into prayer again with God. I said, God, please. It wasn't looking good for me and Tracy because a baby wasn't happening. We didn't know if it was in the cards or not. I prayed deep to God again, and I said, God, just give me this opportunity to have a son, to change the Meyers tradition, to bring him up the way he should be brought up. Well, shortly after that prayer, in 1989, on April 30th, this boy was born. And my prayers were answered. My prayers were answered big time. And God really changed my life around there. I will say that, there's still problems, but I know that God's working in my life, and He did work in my life. And because of the power of prayer, and because God had my back where I did kill myself, or did get shot in the head, because of the power of prayer, He's here today, along with Aisha and Ellis. And I look back at when I was in the restaurant and we were celebrating Chelsea's birthday, and I looked up at God in the sky and said, God, Ellis wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you having my back. Aisha wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you having my back. And Josh wouldn't be here without the power of prayer. It changed my life forever. That's my testimony on that part. And God did say that I needed to do this because someone is going to learn something from this and their life will be changed. I came to North Summit to support Josh. Boy, I got a whole lot more. North Summit's gotten me closer to God than I've ever been in my life. I pray before meals, and Josh knows being brought up, we never did that. I prayed for other people, and I never did that. I only prayed for myself. Now I pray for other people. I enjoy coming to church. I forgave my father and other people that needed to be forgiven. And that helped me move on further. It helped me to show my emotions. Josh never seen me cry a lot growing up. But I think I've cried more in this church than any other place. I studied the Bible more. God has made me an all-around better person. I got baptized by the son I prayed for to have. I pray all the time. This church is my family, and I will not go to another church. What has God really done to me? He gave me the strength and courage and helped me to tell my story. So I hope someone's learned something from this, and I thank you for all listening to my testimony.